Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into 10 absolutely brilliant, scientifically backed tactics to build instant rapport. We're going to move at a rapid-fire pace, stripping away all that textbook theory and looking at exactly what to do out there in the real world to connect with people. Let's just jump right in.
So here's the promise for our time together. 10 tactics, 0 fluff. Each of these tools takes, maybe 10 seconds to learn. And honestly, the best part? They start working literally the exact moment you deploy them in a conversation. You really don't need to be some sort of charisma master. You just need to understand how our brains process trust.
To figure this all out, we're totally skipping the small talk. We're looking at the exact psychological moves that real-world hostage negotiators and therapists use to disarm the mind and instantly connect. When the stakes are at their absolute highest, these pros, well, they aren't relying on charm. They rely purely on psychology.
All right, entering Act 1 of our toolkit, disarming the mind. Tactic number 1 is labeling. Usually, right, when someone is visibly upset, our gut instinct is to just ask, hey, what's wrong? But the far more effective move is to actively state the emotion they're feeling. You'd say something like, wow, it sounds like that really frustrated you. You're identifying the feeling for them rather than demanding they explain it all to you.
Now, what's super fascinating here is the underlying mechanism. This isn't just some cheap communication trick. This is basic neuroscience known as affect labeling. By naming an emotion out loud, you immediately lower its intensity in the other person's brain. The amygdala literally calms down. Actually, this is the very first move hostage negotiators are trained to make. Try this on a coworker who's having a rough day and literally watch how fast their shoulders drop. It's wild.
Moving right along, tactic 2 is to go first. You see, trust isn't requested, it's modeled. If you share something small, something even just slightly personal before you ask anything real of someone else, it completely shifts the whole dynamic. Because vulnerability isn't met with judgment, it's met with vulnerability. Giving just one honest sentence about yourself, like, I don't know, a minor struggle you had that morning, that earns 2 or 3 honest sentences right back.
Tactic 3 is all about the pause. It sounds so simple, but man, it is incredibly powerful. After the other person finishes speaking, you want to wait exactly 2 extra seconds before you respond. Try it out in your next chat. Wait those 2 full seconds.
Sitting in that silence probably feels a little unnatural at first, doesn't it? But it works instantly. Most people will just naturally try to fill silence out of sheer discomfort. So whoever tolerates that silence best ends up controlling the entire pace of the conversation. People inherently trust whoever seems the least rattled by it. Oh, and here's a quick bonus tactic to slide in for you right here. Use their name just once at the exact right moment. Not scattered through every single sentence because that just feels super fake, but used once when you really mean it, it lands twice as hard. Okay, let's see how this builds into our next core concept.
Moving into Act 2, subconscious influence. Tactic 5 flips our standard expectations completely upside down. Usually we think doing a huge favor makes someone like us, right? Well, asking someone for a tiny, super easy favor actually makes them like you more than if you did a favor for them. This brilliantly illustrates a deeply researched psychological mechanism known as the Ben Franklin effect. It's this wild cognitive bias that's been replicated for decades now. Asking to borrow a pen or just having someone pass you a glass of water does significantly more for relationship building than giving them a tiny favor yourself. It fundamentally rewires how the other person's brain perceives their relationship with you. Basically, their brain just assumes, hey, I'm helping this person out, therefore I must really like them. For Tactic 6, you've got to mirror their pace, not their words. If they are speaking in a slow and measured way, you slow down. If they're quick and highly energetic, you match it. We humans just naturally trust people who feel similar to us, and mirroring pace is the absolute fastest, unspoken way to establish that vital similarity without saying a single word about it. All right, Tactic 7 is getting hyper-specific. Honestly, saying great job is completely forgettable, but saying, the way you handled that tough question in the meeting was excellent, well, that sticks with them. Vague praise just sounds like a formality. Specific praise sounds like attention, and attention proves you're actually listening. That's the one thing no one can ever accuse you of faking. Kicking off Act 3, physicality and momentum. For Tactic 8, face them fully. Literally point your feet and square your shoulders directly at the person you're talking to. Don't angle yourself toward the door. Definitely don't look at your phone. People both consciously and subconsciously register your physical engagement in about 2 seconds flat. It reads as deep engagement before you even open your mouth.
And that leads us right into Tactic 9,
getting a small yes first before you drop the real ask. It's built on this idea of psychological consistency. We all like seeing ourselves as reliable people who follow through, right? So once someone agrees to something tiny and easy, like agreeing on a basic fact or a minor preference, the brain's need for consistency kicks in and builds momentum. This measurably increases the odds they'll say yes to whatever comes next. It's not some magic trick, it's really just how our brains work.
Finally, tactic 10 is the callback. Reference something they mentioned earlier. It could be 10 minutes ago, or it could be 10 days ago. Kind of like how we referenced those hostage negotiators way back at the beginning of this explainer. Doing this proves you actually listen to them, instead of just awkwardly waiting for your turn to talk. And let's be honest, that is incredibly rare these days, and it comes across as absolutely remarkable every single time you do it.
So let's just do a quick rundown of this toolkit. Label the emotion. Go first. Use the 2-second pause. Say their name just once. Ask a small favor. Mirror their pace. Be hyper-specific with your praise. Face them fully. Get a small yes. And use the callback. The really crucial point here is that absolutely none of these 10 tactics require you to be someone you're not. There's no deception involved whatsoever. They literally just remove the friction between meeting someone and genuinely connecting with them.
So, I want to leave you with a challenge. Which conversation are you going to change first this week? Are you going to keep doing what you've always done, or are you going to take control of the interaction? Pick just one of these scientifically backed tools, try it out tomorrow, and just watch how it instantly, completely changes the dynamic of your conversations. You've got the toolkit now, so get out there and see how people actually work. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.